Hello, basketball people, we have news. Let's go to more news about the Golden State Warriors. I ask you to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I am a Warriors fan. Hello, basketball people, we have news. Let's go to more news about the Golden State Warriors. I ask you to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I am a Warriors fan. The Warriors traded picks in the draft and bet on unknown players, but who can be polished and bring a lot of good things to the Warriors? The Warriors signed 2 players in the draft and 1 player after the draft. The Golden State Warriors have added Texas Tech guard Chance McMillian in undrafted free agency. The Golden State Warriors have had a busy second night of the NBA draft. They entered Thursday with just 1 selection at 41. They traded that pick to the Phoenix Suns to get picks 52 and 59, but then traded up from 59 to 56 with the Memphis Grizzlies. They left the draft with Alex Toohey from Australia's Sydney Kings of the NBL and Florida's Will Richard. Toohey is more of a do-it-all kind of player, while Richard is a good scorer and shooter. After the draft, they've added some more proven production and sharpshooting. ESPN's NBA draft expert Jonathan Givony has reported that the Golden State Warriors have signed Texas Tech's Chance McMillian to a deal. It is supposedly an Exhibit 10 deal, which is a non-guaranteed deal that will give the team his G League rights if he's waived this offseason. McMillian, a 6 feet 2 inches guard from Vallejo, California, spent 5 years in college, the first 3 at Grand Canyon, the final 2 at Texas Tech, where he blossomed into an All-Big 12 performer. In his final season with the Red Raiders, he averaged 14.2 ppg and 4.0 rpg while shooting a blistering 43.3% from three-point range. He's never attempted many shots inside the arc. In fact, 57% of his shots at Texas Tech came from 3, but he's always been efficient on his 2-point attempts in college, making over 63% of them at Texas Tech. He'll get his chance to prove his worth to the Warriors during the Summer League in Las Vegas, from July 10th to the 20th. Warriors pull off draft night trade, acquire national championship winner. The Grizzlies have agreed to trade the number 56 pick in the draft, used to select Florida's Will Richard, to the Warriors, according to Michael Scotto of Hoops Hype. Memphis is moving down to number 59, which had been controlled by Golden State, as part of the swap. Richard was a key part in Florida bringing home the national championship this season. He averaged 13.3 points and 4.6 rebounds in 2024-25. In order to move up to get Richard, the Warriors gave up the rights to 2020 draft pick Justinian Jessup, a top 50 protected 2032 second-round pick, per The Athletic's Anthony Slater. They also obviously gave up number 59, which was used on Tennessee's Jahmai Mashek. Pros and cons of Golden State Warriors acquiring Will Richard of Florida basketball in 2025 NBA Draft. The Golden State Warriors acquired Florida basketball guard Will Richard via trade after he was taken in the second round of the 2025 NBA Draft, 56th overall, by the Memphis Grizzlies on June 26. A 3-year starter with the Florida Gators, Richard started all 40 games in 2024-25, averaging 13.3 points and 4.6 rebounds to help lead UF to a 36-4 record and its 5th national title in school history. A transfer from Belmont, the 6'4", 206-pound Richard started 106 of 109 games in 3 seasons at UF. He shot 36.4% from three-point range during his UF career and his 203 three-pointers ranked 10th on UF's all-time list. Richard also posted a team-high 69 steals for UF in 2024-25 and rose to the occasion in big moments. He sank a game-winning shot with 5 seconds remaining to cap UF's 70-69 comeback win at South Carolina on January 22 and scored a team-high 18 points on 5 of 10 shooting from the floor and 4 of 7 shooting from three-point range in UF's 65-63 national title win over Houston. Richard joined Walter Clayton, first round, 18th overall, traded to Utah Jazz, and Elijah Martin, second round, 39th overall, Toronto Raptors, as the 3rd UF player selected in the 2025 NBA Draft. That's the most since 5 UF players were taken in the 2007 NBA Draft. Here are the pros and cons of the Warriors acquiring Richard. At 6'4", Richard possesses good size for a shooting guard/small forward and improved his athleticism to intercept balls in passing lanes. He's an ideal 3-and-D prospect with the ability to both shoot from long range and defend guards and wings on the perimeter. Though more comfortable as a catch-and-shoot player, Richard showed improvement as a senior in putting the ball on the floor and creating his own shot. Richard also isn't afraid to mix it up on the boards, as he averaged 4.6 rebounds per game in 2024-25 with 45 offensive rebounds. Concerns. Richard is an inconsistent scorer who can be passive at times when he misses shots early. Of the 40 games Richard played as a senior in 2024-25, he failed to reach double figures in 14 of them. Though Richard has improved athletically, he may need to boost his athleticism to another level to handle guarding NBA guards and wings on a consistent basis. Richard is a natural leader who stuck with Florida from its rebuilding in year one under head coach Todd Golden through its national title campaign. He may take time to develop at the NBA level, but teams wouldn't have to question his work ethic or intangibles. Warriors make brutal draft night mistake by trading perfect Klay Thompson replacement to Suns. The Golden State Warriors selected the perfect replacement for Klay Thompson, who the Warriors traded to the Dallas Mavericks in 2024 after 13 successful seasons, with the number 41 overall pick. While there's no denying that Buddy Hield played well in spurts with the Dubs this past season, Kentucky sharpshooter Kobe Bryant could have provided Stephen Curry with a more dependable three-point shooting threat. However, because the Warriors elected to trade the pick to the Phoenix Suns for the number 52 and number 59 overall picks less than 2 hours before the second round started, the world will never know what a Curry and Bryant backcourt partnership could have looked like in the Bay. Bryant was as consistent as it gets from beyond the arc during his collegiate career. The 6'7" guard showcased his fluid one-motion release every time he graced the hardwood, allowing him to shoot 41.1% from deep during the first 4 years of his career at Dayton. At Kentucky, Bryant's long-range production was expectedly spectacular, as the catch-and-shoot extraordinaire finished the 2024-25 season with a 43.5% three-point shooting percentage. It doesn't take a genius to point out that the NBA is a different ballgame, but there's a good chance that Bryant will continue to light it up from downtown as he embarks on a new journey. The Warriors could still set themselves up for success by drafting a high-upside big man and a perimeter-oriented asset with a similar skill set to Bryant's. However, with the 22-year-old being linked to the Warriors well before the start of the draft, for reasons that have already been explained, it appears the franchise made a brutal mistake that will likely come back to haunt them. Jonathan Kuminga could end up ruining the Golden State Warriors offseason, ESPN expert warns. The Golden State Warriors are nearing decision time over Jonathan Kuminga, and they need to get it right. Jonathan Kuminga has stood out as a talented player, but one who struggles to fit the Golden State Warriors' plans. Kuminga's best performances came when Stephen Curry was out injured, and head coach Steve Kerr has admitted the player faces an uncertain future. This offseason Kuminga will be a restricted free agent, when the Warriors are widely expected to sign him to a new deal, and then trade him. The Chicago Bulls are a team credited with interest. But it may not be quite so simple for Golden State, they have been warned. Speaking to Bay Area outlet 95.7 The Game, ESPN expert Ramona Shelburne warns how the Warriors could get it all wrong with Jonathan Kuminga. She explains, if the Warriors make Jonathan Kuminga an offer that's less than the max or less than what he was offered last year, which I think is far more likely, does he scoff at that and then take a really long time to make a decision and tie up their cap space? The Kuminga question is going to hang over everything because it has the potential to get messy. Kuminga earned $7.6 million in the 2024-25 season, and as his rookie season comes to an end, he is looking to hit the jackpot. The Warriors can tender Kuminga with a qualifying offer of around $7.9 million, which would allow them to trade him. But as Shelburne points out, Kuminga can then drag out the situation and make life a little more complicated for the Warriors, unclear over whether he will stay or go. This could cause them to miss out on other free agents. Warriors GM Mike Dunleavy has stated he is prepared that the Kuminga situation could drag out, but of course nobody knows how long this could be for, and the actual detriment. Draymond Green has warned Kuminga. Golden State Warriors stalwart Draymond Green has already warned Jonathan Kuminga to keep quiet and not cause any problems for himself. Speaking recently after comments from Steve Kerr, who said he cannot fit Kuminga into his preferred rotation as a starter to play the amount of minutes the player would like, Green had some advice. Quite frankly, I don't think JK should have a next interview until after free agency. Don't say nothing, free agency is happening. You got to go into free agency, he's a restricted free agent. You got to figure out what's going to work for you. And that's going to happen anyway. I'm not going to sit here and argue, or go back and forth about his beliefs, and I don't think JK should either. Bobby Portis, Bucks champion, coming to the Warriors in exchange for Moses Moody and Jackson Traces. The Golden State Warriors need a bit more offensive firepower. Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler will continue to be elite on that end of the floor, but in the playoffs, when those two were compromised physically, the Warriors struggled big time. Now, Warriors trade rumors have them linked to a few different players that might be able to take on some of the offensive load. One player who has been linked with Golden State this summer is Bobby Portis. The Portis Warriors rumors only got louder when Portis didn't deny his interest in playing in Golden State. A potential deal would require Portis to opt into his contract and agree to a trade. Trade framework, if pursued. Milwaukee Bucks trade. Bobby Portis. Warriors trade. Moses Moody. Tracy Jackson Davis. 2026 FRP pick swap. Golden State would look to re-sign Portis after the trade. This is a very intriguing framework to get Portis to the Warriors. Signing Portis outright in free agency will be difficult for the Warriors due to some of their salary cap restrictions. This trade would net the Bucks multiple trade pieces instead of seeing Portis go for nothing. Portis would be the perfect fit in Golden State. He would be able to stretch the floor next to Draymond Green, as well as give the Warriors some much-needed help on the glass. If trading Moody and TJD is what is needed to get Portis onto the Warriors roster for next season, the Warriors need to do it. Portis is a proven winner and a killer on the offensive end. The Warriors need both more than they need young players who could become great. Warriors are interested in signing Bradley Beal. Following the Phoenix Suns' decision to part with Kevin Durant via a blockbuster trade to the Houston Rockets, many are wondering if the Suns have another newsworthy deal up their sleeve. Blue Man Hoops Peter O'Keefe believes that, based on a recent development, the Golden State Warriors could steal Durant's 6'4" ex-teammate from the Suns this summer. John Gambadoro of Arizona Sports Network has previously stated there's a 0% chance that Beal is on the Suns next season, going as far as to suggest a radical buyout despite the 3x All-Star having 2 years and over $110 million still remaining on his contract, O'Keefe wrote Monday. Gambadoro has now doubled down on his thoughts following the Durant trade, telling the Kevin O'Connor Show that they will either trade him or they will buy him out, and that I don't think there is any scenario where Bradley Beal comes back and plays for the Suns. Golden State needs an injection of offense this season, and for all the downsides to Beal on an horrendous $50+ million per year contract, he instantly becomes a lot more palatable on a deal worth less than $15 million per season. Golden State's ability to actually acquire Beal will still be determined by a range of factors beyond just whether or not Phoenix buys him out. What happens with Jonathan Kuminga and other decisions in free agency or via trade will determine where the Warriors end up with their payroll, and therefore what they can offer Beal or whether they can acquire him at all. Beal is an asset the Suns have been looking to move for months. Numerous reports indicated that the Suns were eyeing a Beal-Jimmy Butler swap while Butler was competing with the Miami Heat. However, Beal remained in Phoenix, while Butler joined the Golden State Warriors on February 5, effectively shutting down the possibility of the two stars being involved in the same groundbreaking deal. Beal has been an inconsistent contributor with the Suns since 2022. The Florida product is capable of pouring in 25 points on a good night and recording 5 points on his worst. Beal, who isn't known for being a winning player dating back to his 11-year stint with the Washington Wizards, averaged 17.0 points on 49.7% from the field and 38.6% from three on the 36-46 Suns. Still, adding the 13-year veteran would give the Warriors another wing scorer who shoots the three well enough to fit well in their offensive system. There's a chance Beal could join Stephen Curry in the Bay in the offseason.